I am really excited about this video. I think this is fascinating. You all have recently met my brother-in-law. He showed me a video yesterday that's existed since May. Right now we're in December. And I just now found out about it thanks to him. I'm going to play a moment of it. And you think, well, that's your channel, Nick. Well,
there's a rumor going around in the comment section of my videos that I am a Norwood too, which I am not.
Okay, that rumor was started by me, I think. I am not Nick Shell. I am Jim Kennedy, and I'm a huge fan of Nick. So here's my little video.
Okay, so Jim Kennedy made a 9.5 minute, nearly 10-minute video to respond to me saying that I truly am a Norwood 3. So this is a response to his video, which was a response to mine. And by the way, if you want to find that channel, it's called LipMode, like lip mode, one word. He's currently got 3 subscribers. It's only had 4 views, and I think at least 2 of them are me just kind of watching the video. The video itself has had 257 views as of today, Christmas Eve 2017. So what a kind man. I watched his video. He's got a very chill personality. Makes me think he's from somewhere in Canada, like in the Pacific Northwest there. So I heard him out, and what he did, he's fancier than I am. He had a Norwood chart that he like superimposed on the screen, which I'm just going to hold it out thanks to my brother-in-law printing this out for me. This is the same chart that Jim Kennedy uses, and here's obviously Norwood 1. See, this is different than the way I teach the Norwood system. I say the Norwood system is, Norwood 1 is straight across, but then some indentation on the temples here going back. And then I say 2 is a V shape with 90-degree corners, and then 3 is where you don't have corners, they're rounded off here. Pretty convincingly in his video, he explains why really I'm more of a Norwood 2 than I am a Norwood 3. And according to this chart, we can look at how far back the Norwood 3 actually comes, and that ultimately it has more to do with more recession in here. Now see, and I made a video about that recently. If I've got something going for me as far as a receding hairline or hair loss, it's this. Yes, it does go up a ways here, but it doesn't really go back that far on the temples. And I think that's the thing, if anything. If anyone is going to say that I'm possibly a Norwood 2, it's that. I've noticed Norwood 3s who actually have less recession here, but more here, and it's more obvious. And I think that's kind of the wild card when it comes to Norwood 3 for me. Not so much the thinning even, as much as it is how far the temples go back. And again, looking at Norwood's classification of male pattern alopecia, looking at this, I do feel that this looks more like my hairline than this does. If this is what Norwood 3 looks like, I mean, that really does come back a far way right there. There's a lot of scalp there. And while mine does go back a bit, it doesn't quite go all the way back there. I feel, now that I've watched the video, I'm not here to say I've changed my mind, but I'm saying that, and even experts agree, there's no real way of knowing exactly what Norwood classification you are. It is a little bit relative to based on what you perceive, different shapes of the head, and like I said, you could have the M shape with a hairline, but ultimately, a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, how far it goes back here. I guess this is a good opportunity just for you to check out his video. It's very informative, very interesting, and worth watching. So ultimately, I don't know. Like, I still want to think I'm Norwood 3, but maybe I could still kind of be Norwood 2. Now granted, I'm openly admitting here that I don't have even a V shape anymore. It goes up all the way up in here like this. There's no 90-degree angles that I see anymore. I see that it's more rounded off, you know. And sure, I get hairstyles that help complement what I've got going on here. But ultimately, I'm just going to do kind of give you another chance to look at all this and just kind of let you be the judge. Of course, none of us have to be experts. Obviously, I'm not an expert myself. But I did find his video very fascinating, very interesting, and even intriguing. Because here's the main takeaway. According to my own theories, if indeed I'm still could possibly be considered a Norwood 2, then what does that mean? That would mean I fell on the right side of the fence. That meant that I had this hairline when I was still 35 years old, which according to my own theory means I'll be the guy who doesn't go bald the rest of my life. I made it just in time. I was creeping up on Norwood 3, but was still 2. So according to my own theory, I'll be the guy who actually doesn't lose my hair, and I won't be Norwood 4 by the time I'm 40, and maybe not even by the time I'm 50, which a lot of people are starting to say that. They think I've still got a solid 10, maybe 15 years, and of course, with me being 36 and a half, do the math, that could get me into my early 50s and still have this much hair. It's interesting too when there are some men who kind of keep a Norwood 3 for life. I know our good friend Maxwell Smart, who's a barber who watches a lot of my videos. He's I think just about 20 years older than me. I think he's like 54, 55, and he is a Norwood 3. And I think he had said he's been a Norwood 3 for a while. So I wonder if my theory says that if you're still Norwood 2 or better by the time you're age 35, then you're going to keep most of your hair most of your life. But if you're Norwood 3 or worse by the time you're 35, then you're going to be balding the rest of your life. What happens if you're right there in the middle? Does that mean you're just kind of vaguely Norwood 3 for most of the middle part of your adult life, and then finally when you get closer to 60, then it starts falling apart? See, this would change a lot for me if I am only a Norwood 2. What if I've misdiagnosed myself here? The people who seem to know the most about it say I'm Norwood 3. But most people, over the course of the years I've been doing this channel, most people think that I'm a Norwood 2. So if we're going by a popularity vote, I'm Norwood 2. If we're going by people who study this and spend a lot of time knowing how this works, they're going to say Norwood 3. Let's just take a new vote then. I want you to decide, am I Norwood 2 or Norwood 3? Because this would change everything for my future. Norwood 2, Norwood 3.